Hey, how's it going everybody? Shaggy from the Order of Mithril here, and we are continuing the spooky season festivities with another installment from the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, and this is going to be Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. This is the third Castlevania game that Konami has done, and in this one we're going to be following Trevor Belmont. Yeah, that guy, as well as his friends that he meets along the journey, like Sypha Belnades, and this other guy that you may be familiar with, Alucard. But I do have a little bit of regrets for you, Grant. You still haven't shown up in the Netflix series. Sorry, man. This is a prequel title for Castlevania. It's before the last two games that I've done videos on. It takes place in the 15th century, 1476. And Dracula is just being a complete dick. He's being that cockroach that you can't squash no matter how many times you hit him with a shoe. This is the beginning of the story. The Belmonts have been banished from Wallachia, where they were suspected of using black magic, so they were kicked out. But Dracula is just beating the hell out of everybody all across Europe, so they're left with no choice but to ask Trevor Belmont, the current wielder of the Vampire Killer Whip, to come in and deal with it. Along his journey, he's going to find three companions. Now, I've already mentioned them, but as you play through the game, you're going to get a different ending depending on which companion you have with you at the time, or if you have none at all. So this game had a split release, much like the previous two titles. It came out in North America September 1st, 1990. It hit Japan December 22nd, 1989, and unfortunately for Europe, they didn't get it till December of 1992. Don't ask me why that worked out like that. That seems kind of odd. Getting into the analysis of the title, though, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now that the game looks much more akin to, say, Castlevania 1 than what it did Castlevania 2. I do think that it had a minor upgrade as far as the artwork went for the title, over Castlevania 1, but I think it still shares a lot of similarities with the first game. I do think that, however, it transferred over very nicely from its original NES inception to the Anniversary Collection that I'm now playing on the Xbox. So kudos to them. I think they did a great job in the 80s, and I think they did a great job here in 2020. The audio in this one still strikes me. I don't know why I get as fixated on the audio in games that I do, but I love it. I love it, this series, for its audio. The cracking of the whip and the music will always stick with me. The music that they put into it, again, it still resonates with fans even to this day. I mean, who doesn't like the music that they put in the Castlevania series? If you played Castlevania and you didn't like the music, I mean, I've just got to call you out for being weird. The gameplay for this title still, again, holds up from the original release back in the 80s, or 90s, and its re-release here in the Anniversary Collection. I think that the difficulty is still there, the challenge is still very much there, believe me. I had more problems with this title than I did with the previous two, which for some reason I don't know how that works, but this game has kicked my butt all over again. Not even ashamed to admit it. But there are certain things that still stick with me about this title as far as the gameplay goes. Not just the difficulty in timing your jumps, battling the enemies, make sure that you're not getting your butt kicked trying to get through the level so that you can progress to the next section. There is something about this, in the fact that you had multiple endings in this title, and they were tied in to which character that you brought along with you once you found them. So if you play to the end of the game with Alucard, you're going to get one ending. Whenever you play through the game with Sypha, you're going to get a completely different ending. And if you don't take anybody with you at all, you're going to get a different ending. I think that Castlevania was setting trends that we were taking for granted back then, and we're just now seeing them get praised for games in the modern times. Like in Castlevania 2, you had what I feel was one of the earliest examples of open world gaming, and with this one, Castlevania 3, you're getting the chance to see multiple endings depending on how you play the game, based on your choices. So I think that really sticks out to me. Castlevania was breaking grounds a long time ago, and it was praised for it then, and I think it set trends, and I think it should still be praised for it to this day. Thinking back to the replayability of the previous two titles, this one is going to have a lot more in common with Castlevania 1 than Castlevania 2, in the sense that, look, at the top of the screen you can see I have a score that's increasing, I have a time limit that is slowly counting down, I have a number of retries with my P equals 02, I have 2 more attempts to play through this level, and I have 44 hearts. So my score is going to be based on like how well I play the level, how much damage do I take, how many hearts do I have at the end of it, how much time did I have left over. So I think that there's a bigger replayability to this title than the previous two, because in this one you're going to be trying to beat your score like in the first game, but at the same time you're also going to have multiple endings that you can play through to, you know, get more of the story, to see how it all plays out if you chose a different way to go through the game. So I think that it has a lot of replayability. One last little tidbit, if you haven't already figured it out, this is the Castlevania game that inspired Warren Ellis to create the Castlevania show that you know on Netflix. You may not like it, you may not love it, but there are a lot of people out there who do. I know I'm one of them, but you know, I'm an old Castlevania fan. And it was because of him and Adi Shankar that we have the amazing show on Netflix that we do. That's going to be it for me on this one today, guys. I really greatly appreciate you guys stopping by to check out the channel and spend a little time with me. But tune in tomorrow where I'm going to be doing another video for the spooky season. And I'm going to go ahead and let this video play out to the end so that you can see the boss battle that I'm about to get into. But thanks again. Hope you have a great one.